Springs, baby. Spring is in the air, everybody. Welcome to Priscilla's Kitchen. It's your girl, Priscilla. You made up Priscilla's Kitchen LLC.com. Let's make a spring style 1-pan baked chicken and mushroom rice. I'm telling you, this meal is delicious. If you follow this recipe to the T, you're going to thank me later. All right, let's get after it. And my choice of chicken today is chicken thigh, and that's because when it's bone in and it's skin on, it is so delicious, especially when you roast on high temperature. So I'm trimming all the flaps and ends that doesn't make it presentable. All right, just to make sure it's all nice and tucked together. All right, you always want to wash your hands when you deal with chicken. All right, you don't want no salmonella. So here we go. We're going to make some spice blend. Into that mixing bowl, I'm adding 1 heaped tablespoon of minced garlic and also minced ginger. I don't do a lot of nut, but I'm adding nut today into this meal because I tell you, spring calls for this. Obviously, Priscilla's all-purpose seasoning. I'm telling y'all, if you don't have this, get on my website. Now, you know I love a little bit of heat. I'm adding cayenne pepper. You don't have to have it. You could just use black pepper. I added salt and black pepper. There's something about black pepper and heat. It's so magical. I added more Priscilla's all-purpose seasoning. All right? And then good old olive oil. About a 1/4 cup into it. All right? Do you see what I'm adding? Orange marmalade. It has a presence in this patty, y'all. All right. So then I added a little bit of more oil and a little bit of acidity. And now here we go. You want to mix in. Listen, if you are the type that cook with tongs and whatever, it's not mixing properly. Use your hands. It makes it a lot easier. Can you see? Now I let that also, I marinated this for about 4 hours. And here we go in a roasting pan. Do you see? I have a wire rack over my roasting pan. The reason for that, I want the heat to go under. So I'm using a double duty kind of cooking here. There is a steam under by adding just a little bit of water and then the chicken on top. All right. So here we go in another pan. That goes into 375 Fahrenheit to bake for about 25 to 40 minutes. The reason I use that wide range, if you check it and it's up to 165 Fahrenheit, that's good. All right. In another pan now, let's work on our rice, our mushroom rice. So here we go. I have a blend of oyster mushroom and baby bella. When I tell you, it's about a pound, and you know mushrooms are very light. So when you use a pound of mushroom, you know it's a lot. But because it's full of moisture, it's just going to cook down, all right? I'm not browning this. I'm just softening it because this here is going to blast this rice with tons of mushroom. So I took it out of the pan. And can you see the fond on that pan? You don't want to even mess with that. It's tons of flavor residual there. So then I'm adding butter. Here's the thing, if you are a vegetarian, you skip the butter and use olive oil, all right? So now I also use a long grain rice that I just pre-washed very well, and then I put it in the pan. Here's the thing, you want to toast your rice always in whatever saute or fond or residual flavor you have in your pan. You want it to toast for a while before you add moisture, and that's what I'm doing with mine. So I created a well at the middle there, and then I added Priscilla's tagine. When I tell you, this here is a compressor of all flavors. I'm telling you all. So you see, without covering it up, I'm letting it toast by itself for about 2 minutes. Now I'm mixing it with the rice. Can you see how it changed the color of our rice? Delicious. You always want to infuse. You always want to fresh herbs if you have it, please. This is rosemary, a sprig of rosemary. I'm not trying to overdo. I'm telling you because I have all the flavors in Priscilla's all-purpose seasoning, but I'm complexing this meal. So here we go. I added here. Can you see? When you have the right flavor profile, you don't have to have chicken stock or chicken broth. So I'm also adding habanero right there, a green one. If you don't like habanero, use black pepper if you will. Let me tell you, when you have the right flavor profile, all you need is water, people. So now I'm adding salt to taste. English peas, y'all. It is spring. Huh? It doesn't get better than this. You just want to stir. You want to stir to combine. Now add in your mushroom. Oh my goodness. It's a party in that pot, y'all. All right. So I'm going to stir. And then I'm going to cover this pot. Oh my goodness. Look how pretty that looks already. It's a thing of beauty to behold. Now you want to cover. And this here. When I tell you this rice here is also going to that oven. Can you see our juicy chicken? So I brought it out of the oven after 20 minutes of just baking it in there. Obviously the sprigs of rosemary have done its job and I'm taking it out. Can you see? Now I want to nestle that chicken. You might wonder, why would you finish baking a chicken and then nestle it back? it will drip it will drip back into that rice all the juices that you need to have. Here we go into the oven uncovered. I'm going to bake for another just 10 minutes. Now, did you see the residual juice and drippings from that chicken? I poured it into a pot. I just added a tablespoon of all-purpose flour, and I just basically made a roux out of it. I didn't add nothing to it because it has every single flavor it needs. Can you see? I'm not a fan of dry rice, believe me. If you're going to make something moist and delicious, make it very moist and delicious. And that's the name of this meal, y'all. It is moist. It is delicious. Can you see? Can you see? I just drizzled my sauce over it. And oh my God, that chicken, so fork tender and completely very delicious. Addictive. I was trying to talk and I'm like, no, I got to take a second more bite. Can you see it? Mushroom is brown. It's always going to brown your rice, but it's so mushroomy. Delicious. If you're a vegetarian, just skip the butter and chicken and just stick with the mushrooms. But I'm telling you, it is a one-pan wonder, y'all. Please subscribe. Buy your spices on Priscilla'sKitchenLLC.com, and I'll see you next time in my kitchen. Please subscribe. Bye-bye.